identify some mathematical concepts or mathematical environment where they found themselves, and then use those mathematical concepts to explain or analyze economic phenomena. So, guess a basic mathematics background, basic mathematics concept, and this concept will help in analyzing economic theories. Then we also expect that, or we also equip students to be able to differentiate between various equations and systems. Remember that in our core maths, if we have done core maths and in elective maths, we have done so many equation systems, simultaneous equations, quadratic equation, linear, polynomials are all the simple equations that we are talking about. Now, how these are relevant to economics is what we are coming to find out. So at the end of this, we expect students to be able to use the different type of equation that will be given to explain economic analysis. Then we'll also be doing some integration, that's integration and what? Differentiation, simple basic ones, not complex ones. And then at the end of differentiation and integration, we should be able to also apply them in solving economic problems. So we just need the basic ones, not the complex one, to do that. Okay, so at the end, at the later part of it, we'll be doing matrices where instead of when you are given a system of linear equations, you have to use other simultaneous substitution method or elimination method. When you are being taught when we teach you matrices, you will realize that it is very simple for us to use the matrix approach to calculate or to find the unknowns rather than using elimination or substitution method. Okay, so these are it's going to help us in also applying then economics in the context of economics. Then we'll also be able to explain some financial economics and then how we are also going to apply them in economic problems. So that will be the later part of the lesson. So let's zoom to the contents. Now, what is the prerequisite for you to do ECOMAT? We expect that before you do ECOMAT, I expect that you should have gone through Principle of Economics 1 and Principle of Economics 2. I hope you have done that. What's right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So don't forget, some of the things that you learned from Principle 1 and 2, we are going to apply them. So we are assuming that you have done total revenue, demand and supply. You have done all that. Okay. But we are coming to now use how we can use mass to explain the law of demand. Everybody knows that the law of demand states that at a higher price, less quantity will be mandated, and at a lesser price, high quantity will be demanded. This is the simple law of demand, the fundamentals of demand, the law of demand. Now, when you come to realize that this demand that you are talking in the sentence form or verbally or analytically, we can use simple equation, mathematical equation to represent the law of demand. Instead of saying it with instead of saying it in the sentence or in analytical form, we can use a simple mathematics to represent it. Okay, so that is what we are expecting to do here, using mathematics to explain economics theories. Now, the first concept, the first unit we are going to look at is concept, definitions, and system of equations. So we're just going to run through some basic concepts, some definitions, some terminologies, some system of equations that you need to know. Okay, that is the first thing. And then from there, we look at what economics is, what mathematics is, and then We look at economic models and then theories. We look at economic realities. We look at the characteristics of economic models. This will constitute the first aspect of the unit. Then we move on to system of equations. So here we'll be looking at the various types of equations that we can think of. And from there, we know that when we talk about equations in economics, we always want to associate or to link one equation to another or to link one variable to another. The variable will help us explain the behavior of economic agents. So it's very, very important for us to know what variables are, what constants are, and what parameters are. Then we'll go to the equation and functions, look at what equations are, simple linear equation, quadratic, polynomial, and the rest. Then we'll look at functions as well. Then we'll move on to look at indices and logarithms, root and radicals, and economic applications. So like I said earlier on, at each unit that we deal with some concept of mathematics, we would like to apply some basic economics so that we get to know how we are going to apply this mathematical concept in explaining this application. So we'll be doing economic application as well. Then we'll move to the differential calculus. Here we are going to do a basic differences. We are going to do a basic differentiation, not complex one, very basic ones. We'll start with the gradient of nonlinear functions, where we'll make use of the limit at which the variables approaching infinity. So we'll look at how we are going to do that. Then we'll go to derivative as well. Then differentiation of one function, differentiation of multiple functions, differentiation of higher order derivatives. We look at the basic law of differentiation, indices, logarithms, and the rest. Okay, so those who have done maths or elective maths more, you will realize that when you come to differentiation, we have various kind of differentiation, or let's say the forms or types. We have the quotient rule, where when you are given an equation that involves fraction, then they ask you to differentiate. You have to apply the quotient rule. Another one is what we call the product rule. In this case, when you are given a system of equation where there's that system of equation involve multiplication, then you have to apply the product rule. Then we also have the chain rule. The chain rule also talk about when you have a particular function within a function. So you can find a function within a function. Then first of all, you have to differentiate the whole function first. Then you go inside the function and differentiate again. That is the chain rule we are going to use. After everything, we have to do some economic application. Okay, so for the last thing for the first block is going to be the integral calculus. The integral calculus, where we are also going to look at how you do integration. So the direct opposite of differentiation is integration. So we look at the basic rules, the definite integral, integration with area under the curve, and then we look at some economic application. Then the rest of them will be on the second semester. Okay, so let me leave it for the second semester. When the second block starts, we'll also try to explain some of them, the courses we are supposed to do. So any question, any concern on the course outline before we move on? Just unmute yourself and then your name, then proceed.
Hello, Doc.
Yes, sir.
Please, Amos Gilbert, and
Gilbert, go ahead.
yeah, and then I think everything you said about the course outline is okay, and then we are ready.
Okay. Any concern? Yes. Course rep.
Yeah. Sir,
Now,
I would like to know if this block consists of just 3 units, that is unit 1, unit 2, and unit 3.
Exactly. Course rep, have you been answered? Have you been answered, course rep?
So, sir, can you hear me, please? I'm having challenges with my network. I don't know.
Yeah, it's true.
No, please, I didn't
Yes.
hear
So,
the response.
yes. So for the block 1, we are going to do 3 units. Unit 1, unit 2, and unit 3. When we go deep into them, you will get
All right,
to
sir.
realize that each of the unit has a lot of things to cover. Yes, Ima. Ima, go ahead.
hello, sir.
Go ahead.
Hello, sir. Yeah. My question has to do with the scheduling of the lectures. I don't know if we will be from today forward, we'll be doing it at this time or maybe as it was scheduled on the timetable.
Yeah, we have to return back to
Oh,
Saturdays.
okay. Thanks so much.
Unless otherwise.
Unless otherwise. Oh, okay. Okay, thanks.
All right, welcome. Sedu Rauf, your hand is up.
My question is about the link. The link that was shared to us, I find it difficult to connect when it is time for lectures.
That one is not concerned with the course outline. The technicians are here. Which of the link are you talking about?
They shared some link that the various courses are attached to.
Yes.
Yes, that link, I'm not able to
But you are able to
connect to that
join.
link.
It's the same link we are using. You are able to join.
Yes, please, but it's because this one is shared to us in our course platform.
So
Sometimes some lectures you try to join them, and if the link is not shared to us like the way you do, we can't join.
okay. So it means that from today, the course reps will be reminding you of the link, if that is easy for
Yes,
you. Okay.
yes, please. Thank you.
All right.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, please, I'm very sorry to interrupt like this. I just wanted to address the concerns of Seydou Raouf. We have a document file that all the links have been compiled into. They were shared to your platforms. So if you want to join a class, you just look at your timetable. If you have a class from 7 to 11 on Saturdays, when it is Saturday 7, then you open that file, you click the link over there, it will bring you directly to this place.
Yeah,
So,
I think he's aware of that. He said whenever he tried joining through that, he has issues. So unless they share it to the platform.
okay, we share to the platform every time before the class starts. Today, I was the one that put it in the platform. So it's something we do. So you shouldn't worry. Before the class starts, every single time, I'll put it in the group just in case someone has misplaced the document or has formatted their chats or something similar.
Yeah, Ima, your
Yeah,
hand is up.
okay. Thank you.
Sir, please, thank you. Please carry on. Thank you, sir.
Ima, your hand is up. Do you want to say something or okay? Okay, please, when we start, anytime you have a question, you can just stop me and then ask your question. Is that okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So this is the first unit that we are going to look at. We are going to look at concept, definitions, and system of equations. Okay, so that is the first unit that we are going to look at, as discussed earlier on the course outline. Now, and we expect that at the end of this unit, we should be able to use the mathematical concept that we are going to learn to explain some economic issues or problems. And then we should be able to also try to discuss some of the basic features that we have in economic models. Then we'll go ahead to look at economic systems. So we are going to put it into two different groups. We are going to first look at the mathematical environment. Then we move into the economic system of equations. Under the system of equations, we are going to look at what variables are constant and parameters. Then under the mathematical environment, we are going to look at what economics is. Now, in the past years, okay, mathematics has become one of the important tools that economics use to communicate. Okay, even recently, when you look at economic environment, there's no way economic can effectively address fundamental issues without involving mathematics. So it is very, very important that we know the importance of mathematics in economics. Okay, so it becomes something that we economists cannot do without. Okay, it ranges from so many aspects. It ranges from quantity, it ranges from spaces, it ranges from structures, statistics, that you can think about the kind of mathematics that we have. So mathematics has become one of the things that economy cannot do without. Okay, so very, very important. And this was also backed by one of the mathematicians or economists, Simon. So it is very, very important for us to recognize that before we even zoom into knowing what economics is. Now, in the basic sentence, or if I ask you in the simple sentence, I know that all of you have learned economics, principle of economics. We have to introduction of economics, what is economy, macroeconomics, explaining them. I know all of you have gone through that, but I want in your own understanding as an economist, in your own understanding, what is economics? In your own ways, in your own understanding, what is economics? Anyone? Don't come and quote Adam Smith and John Maynard Keynes. Guess in your own understanding. So like I've given you a quiz and I ask you in your define economics in your own understanding. Yes, the floor is open. Yes, hello.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Yes, please, someone is distracting us.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yes. Your hands are up. I said if you want to talk, just unmute yourself, your name, and you start and you talk. I will hear you.
Yeah, I'm Seydou Raouf.
Seydou Raouf, go ahead.
Yeah, I will say
Seydou, we can't hear you. Your line is off. Seydou, can you come again?
Yes, please.
Yes.
I'm saying that economics is a course that helps us to manage what we have.
Okay. That is okay. That's fine. Who else?
Doc,
Yes.
please, Amos Gilbert.
Gilbert, go ahead.
So please, to my understanding, economics is all about studying human behavior and then how resources are being used to satisfy our wants or needs.
Okay. Gilbert, that is fine. You see, the only way I can know you, you see, you are many. This is our first time. The only way I can know you is to talk, so that you mention your name, so that I'll know that, oh, this person is talking. So if you don't talk, you will finish the course and I will not know you. All right, that's fine. Go ahead. Who else wants to say something? Okay. Now, one fundamental issue. Yes.
Master.
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Yeah, I am Akabla Samo.
Okay.
He's back.
What? Okay. Have we spoken? Okay. So one fundamental issue, one fundamental problem that we have in economics is what we call scarcity. Okay. Now, what is this a problem? Assuming that you were coming, okay, assuming you are reporting to school. Okay, you are reporting to school and you have a list of items to purchase before you report to school. You have a list of items that you have to purchase before you come to school. Now, what would be the first thing in your list? Just mention anything that you think of. What would be your first thing?
You think about buying a textbook.
Textbook.
Hey, sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Who said Facebook? Hey, who said textbook?
This Raouf Seydou.
Right? Textbook. Okay, when you are reporting to school, that is the first thing, textbook. Let's see. Who else?
Sir.
Uh-huh.
Sir, I personally am having a network challenge, so I'll be writing in the test. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you, sure.
Yes, yeah. So I'll think about food. I'll get some food.
Food.
Yeah, food. Food.
Okay, that's fine. Who else?
Yes, sir. I'm Akabla Samo.
I am Solomon.
Uh-huh.
I also think about toiletries first. Toiletries.
You think about what?
Toiletries. My toiletries, my soap, my washing powder, and a whole lot. My
That's
toiletries.
fine.
Okay.
Who again?
I'm Terry Solomon. I would think of uniform.
Uniform. Okay.
Yeah.
You see, don't we have ladies in this course? First, do we have ladies?
Yes, we do have ladies.
Oh, okay. Now, the reason why I said this is that when you are reporting to school, okay, Some are mentioning food, some are mentioning food textbooks and a lot. Okay. Why not buying everything? Why are you listing some and leaving some?
Sir, please, my name is Isaac Kofiako. I think the resources that we have available can't satisfy all the things that we want. That is why we mostly have to make a list of the things that we need in
Okay.
order of preference.
Okay. So the list of items from the most important to the least important is what we call the scale of preference. This scale of preference is one important item that we study as economics. Now, after the scale of preference, you list them from the first to the last, then you have to make a choice. You make a choice. Now, if you make a choice, it means that you are selecting from the list of items. Now, if you are selecting, it means that there are others that you cannot satisfy. So you forego others in order to get some. And that is what we economists will call it opportunity cost. Okay, all of them are important, but because of the constraint in terms of resources, you have to take some and then you sacrifice some or forego some. That is what we call the scale of opportunity cost. Now you are doing all this. You are doing all this because there is limited kind of resources that you can use to meet all this. Okay. Now let's assume that if your resources were 100%, that is, if opportunity cost is equal to 0. I asked this question some time ago and the students were not able to answer me. What does it mean when opportunity cost is equal to 0? If opportunity cost is equal to 0, it means that there is unlimited resources. Whatever you want, you can buy. So there's no need for you to list items from important to least important because you have resources to satisfy all of them. And that occurs when opportunity cost is equal to what? 0. You have unlimited resources to purchase or to buy whatever you want. So there's no need for you making choices and forgoing others. But once your resources are being constrained, are limited, then you have to make the choice. And the reason why we are making the choice is because your resources are limited. Now, in reality, there's no way opportunity cost will be what? 0. There's no way. Okay, so it means that the limited resources will exist, and our unlimited one will also exist. So how do we manage the two when you have limited resources and your ones are unlimited? How do we survive on this? So it is left unto you to now use your limited resources to satisfy the unlimited one. How will you do that? It is rationality. It is the prudent use of your resources. And that is why economics exist. So economics exists to explain how humans will be able to use their limited resources to satisfy the unlimited ones. And that is all about economics. So when we talk about economics, it is the prudent use of resources to satisfy human wants. It's not any complex thing. Okay. The prudent use or the rationality use of resources to satisfy human want. That is all about economics. Okay. Now, economics, that is why I said that by saying that the basic problem that we economics exist, the reason why we exist is because of scarcity. And when we talk about scarcity, we are talking about constrained resources, limited resources, okay, in terms of quantity, in different ways, okay. So if you have limited, we are talking about scarcity. Okay? So scarcity that we are saying is a situation in which the things that we want to produce our goods and services to satisfy our want are limited in terms of quantity, in terms of magnitude, and all those things. So basically, when we talk about scarcity, it's about limited resources. And economic exists because we need to merge this limited resources or this scarcity with the unlimited things that we want to satisfy. Okay. Now, what about mathematics? We've spoken about economics, and I believe that we all understood what economics is. Now, what is mathematics? Mathematics has no one definition, just like economics. There are so many people who has come to explain what mathematics are, but the basic meaning of mathematics is that mathematics is an abstract. It is a complex abstract that includes or that comprises the quantity, that comprises quality, that comprises structures, that comprises space. We can even talk about the changes. Okay, so when we talk about mathematics, basically, it is an abstract that we study. And that is why sometimes when we say something is abstract, it is something that is complex that very difficult for you to understand. Abstract, it's difficult for you to understand. And that is why sometimes we put mathematics equation there and you don't even know where these equations are coming from, because you see it to be something strange. Yes, that is mathematics. So mathematics is an abstract, or the study of abstract. And this abstract can include quantity, it can include structures, it can include space, it can include changes, and many more. That is generally what accepted. Okay, so there is no single definition, like I said, when we come to what mathematics. So just understand mathematics as an abstract that we try to study it. So it's something complex, something difficult, something that is we cannot understand it, but we try to study it. And it comes in different fold. It comes from different fold. Then we now view in to look at why we need mathematics in economics. Like I explained earlier, that the one basic thing is that we need mathematics in economics to be able to explain economics phenomena. Okay, so we are saying that when we use mathematics, it provides us with the basis, it provides us with the foundations, okay, for us to understand economic variables. We'll get to know the economic variable that we are talking about. And let's look at a critical example that mathematics help us as economists. How will mathematics help us in economy? Let's look at this simple example. We are saying that a 10% increase in the price of fish causes 5% drop in the demand for fish. This is economic theory. This is simply the law of demand. This is simply a law of demand. But why are we getting, let me use my pen here. Why are we getting 10% and why are we getting 5%? These are mathematics terms. And the law of demand gets analytically stated without any equation, without any number. Why are we suddenly getting numbers there? It is because we use mathematical approach. It is because we use mathematical foundations. It is because we use mathematical basis to try to link the law of demand to what reality. Okay, so mathematics help us to, it provides us with the basics, it provides us with the foundations for us to be able to analyze economic theories and what models. It's very, very important. Now, one significant part of the mathematics is that mathematical models help reduces how complex the real world is. And I'm going to use a very simple example to explain that. Okay, now let's go back to the law of demand. The law of demand simply states that at the higher price, at the higher price, lesser quantity will be demanded, and at a lower price, higher quantity will be demanded. Now, the simple question you should ask yourself is price the only factor? Is price the only factor that influence the quantity demanded of a good? And obviously it's no. Now, if we want to list all the factors that influence demand, then we cannot finish mentioning them. We cannot finish mentioning them. We cannot. Okay, we cannot. So I will mention a lot of them. We cannot even mention them. So this is very complex. This is very, very complex for us to understand. Now, maths will help us with a simple model assumption. Mathematics will help us with a simple model assumption that will help reduce this complexity into a manageable way. How would they do that? They come out with the assumption that holding all other things constant. When you say that, it means that all the factors you can think of that we can mention, all of them, we can hold them constant. So when we hold them constant, then it means that we are now simplifying the model. If we simplify the model, then we can now use a very simple equation to illustrate that. So mathematics is really important in helping to reduce the complexity of the real world. Now, if you are able to do that, then we can use a simple mathematical equation. For example, we can say quantity demanded QD, QD is the quantity demanded of a good is equal to a certain constant. Let me use this. Let me use where's my pen? So let me use P0 plus B. No, so where's my pen? So I will use A0. Yes, I will use A0. Then minus BP. Okay. Now, if you understand this equation, you will get to know that mathematics help us to reduce complexity of the real world. Without the assumption, then it means that we cannot say it is only price that affect our quantity demanded. There are other factors. Some will say taste and preferences, some will say technology, some will say weather, some will say income, a lot of them. It means that when we are writing the equation without considering the assumption, it means we have to add all this equation there. That would be too complex. Okay, but if we come out with the assumption, we'll be able to simplify this and say that, well, holding all things constant, quantity demanded of a good depend only on what? Price. Okay. Now, what is this negative? This negative means that there's an inverse relationship between what? Price and quantity demanded. And that is why we are saying negative. Okay. Now, when you put this mathematics equation for any economics, they will know that, yeah, this is the law of demand. This is the law of demand that try to simplify things. Instead of adding all the factors, we are going to simplify things and make it easy for us to what? Understand. So the basic thing is that mathematical models help to reduce the complexity of the real world so that we have to understand and explain economic what? Phenomena. Now, it also makes us define terms precisely and concisely. Okay, instead of generating a lot of theoretical ideas, mathematics help us. It gives us the logical deduction from what? The theories. You have a complex theory. You find it difficult to explain it, but when we are going to use the concept of mathematics, we can be able to model out, we will be able to come out with the logical reasoning on these complex theories. And at the end, we'll be able to put it in a simple form to deduce whatever the meaning of the complex theory that we are looking at. So it helps us to also, we as economists, to define terms concisely and then manageable way so that we can use it to what make economic interpretation wherever economic situation we find ourselves. Now, we can look at the theories, we can look at models, and think logically, come out with a simple way in order to explain this economic concept or situations. It is only mathematics that we can use to deduce those applications or situations from those theories. We also need mathematics to help us broaden our applications in terms of models, instead of always narrowing our theories, instead of always narrowing our thinking. If we use mathematics, it opens our horizon on how we are going to what explain some of the theories that we experience in what economics. So basically, we talk about mathematics, we talk about economics, we also spoke about why we need mathematics in economics, and we were able to explain some of them. Now, mathematical economics. Now, when you go further from here, you want to do okay. When you even come to the regular students, we have something we call the mathematical economics. And then the mathematical economics is something that we teach students on how to use mathematical tools and how to use mathematical foundations and how to use the basis from mathematics to solve economic problems. We can use economic symbols. We can use mathematical symbols, mathematical equations to help us solve economic phenomena or economic models or economic theory or economic situation where we find ourselves. Mathematical economics, we use the math from economics to help us explain these phenomena. Now, what are some of the sources of long-run growth? So these are some of the some questions pertaining to mathematical economics, how we can apply math to explain economics. Okay, and then the first question is, what are the sources of long-run growth and prosperity in an economy? This is a big question. We'll see how we can go to answer that. How does your level of education affect your lifetime earning? And then, will economic development lead to increased environmental degradation? What determines the price of foreign currency? Now, these are all economic statements. They are economic situations. They are economic problems. Now, we cannot solve this problem without mathematics. Without mathematics, we cannot do that. Okay, so how does your level of education affect your lifetime earnings? So it means at this point, we are talking about how the effect of education on your earnings. This is economic problems that we need to be solved. So first, how do we solve this problem without math? So it means that you have to go into literature, you have to go into data, collect data, or go to any of the World Bank data, collect data on education. Then you use econometric equations to model it. Use equations to model it, analyze it before you can come out with the findings. So we cannot achieve this with math without what? Mathematics. And that is why at the beginning I said that mathematics over the years has become instrumental part of economics that economists cannot do without it. So answering these questions, we need math. We need math. Okay. We need math. If not math, we cannot be able to answer all these what problems. Okay. Now, let's look at example of economic theory to what economic models. So from economic theory to models, and let's see how it's going to look like. Now, before you can even look at that, what is economic theory and what is economic models? I'll pause here for someone to, if you have any comment, what is theory? What is economic theory and economic model? If you have any idea. Yes, any idea? What is economic models? Yes, so no one can explain to me. Okay, so when we talk about economic theory is simply a systematic set of ideas and principles that is used to explain how households, how firms, how government, generally how economic agents behave, and how economic outcomes are also what generated. So basically, that is the meaning of what economic theory. I said it is a systematic ideas, ideologies, and principles that we use to explain how economic agents behave and how we also generate economic what outcomes. So the ideologies, it is the principles. So when we talk about theories, the ideologies and the principle behind every what concept. Okay. Now, what about economic models? Now, economic models simply, after we are able to come out with the theory that talks about the systematic set of ideologies and principles, then the models is a formal representation of economic what theories. So we come out with the ideology, then we can now represent it formally in a statement form using the theory. So economic model is a simplification of what economic theory. Please don't let us ask this question in your quizzes, in your exams, and you are not able to answer this. Okay, some of the things we are saying, it might not be on the slide, but you have to be taking notes small. Okay, so basically, that's the main differences is that when we talk about economic theory, it talk about the ideologies, it talk about the principles that we use to explain economic behavior. But when we talk about economic model, we are talking about the formal representation of what economic theory. And it helps us translate the ideas and the principles into a well-structured equations, So when you come out with the theory, then the model will now help us put it in an equation form. Okay, putting it in an equation form, then we are moving back to what? Mathematics. Let's look at this statement. Let's consider the following market information about a commodity. So we are going to move from theory to what? Models. Remember, the theory is about the ideologies. It's about the principles. It's about the laws. Okay. But the models is about representing the theory in a formal way, in an equation, in a model form. So all what we are going to read here is ideology, is the laws, is the principles. Now, after explaining this theory, ideology, then we can now translate all of this into what? Models or equations. quantity demanded of a commodity A depends on the price of the commodity A. This is what a law. This is an ideology. This is a principle. And that is why we call it economic theory. So it gets like the law of demand. The quantity demanded of a commodity A depends on the price of the commodity A, income and taste of the consumer, and then the price of other related commodity. These are principles. These are ideology. These are what a set of ideas. Now we cannot put this set of ideas into model or into what equations. We will get to know that in our next slides. Now the next question is, the next ideology is that quantity supply of a commodity A depends on the price of the commodity, the cost of production of a commodity, and the taste or the state of what technology. This is also coming from ideology. This is also coming from principle. This is also coming from what? Ideas from what? Theories, from individuals. Okay, individual statements. So we cannot put this together. This is basically the law of supply, and the first one is the law of what? Demand. These are all ideology from people. We cannot put them into a formal representation. Remember, the formal representation that we are talking about is what? Models. So we expect that you should know clearly the differences between models and theories. Now, all these are examples of theories. Then the last one is that in market equilibrium, quantity demanded of a commodity A must be equal to quantity supply of commodity A. This is what we call the equilibrium conditions. The equilibrium conditions, where we talk about quantity demanded should be equal to what? Quantity supply at the market level. And that is where you call the equilibrium condition. These are all ideologies. These are all people's set of principles. Now we need to translate them into model. The model, a formal representation of economic theory into what? Formal equation form. So let's move on and represent these ones into what? An equation form, into a functional form that the theory has explained. The theory gets an ideology. So we as economists, we try to use this ideology, economic phenomena, economic situation. We try to use it in the form of mass, put it in the form of equation. So we are using mathematics to help us simplify all the theories or the models up there. Now, these are the mathematical form, or these are what we call the models. These are what we call economic models. They represent the information above. They represent the information that we stated earlier on. Now, what was the first equation, the first theory? The first theory was saying that the quantity of a commodity A depends on the price of the commodity A, the income of the consumer, taste and preference, and the price of the other commodity. Now, instead of saying this long thing, we can use models, we can use equation, we can use function to simplify it. Okay, so we can say that the quantity demanded, we represent it by what? This. So quantity demanded of A is a function. It's a function of PA. The PA is the price of the commodity itself. Y is the income level. T is taste and preference. And then PB is the price of other commodity. So this is just a simple representation of what we are thinking about. We were talking about up there. Okay, so let's take note of the differences between models and theory. The second one was the law of supply, which states that the quantity supply of a commodity also depends on the price of the commodity, costs of production, and technology. These are all factors influencing the supply. So instead of saying that long term, you can use a simple mathematics form to get stated. Very simple here. Then we also move to the equilibrium condition, where we stated that at equilibrium, quantity demanded of a commodity A must be equal to the quantity supply of the commodity A. Under this condition, it means that it is a point where both consumer and producers agree to supply at a specific price level. So we see that we clearly see the difference between models and theory. Okay, so all this that we have done, it is just helping us to simplify hypothesis. I mentioned the first law, which was demand and supply, and then we brought in the models to simplify it. So all the model we have done, it's just helping us to simplify the complexity of the demand behavior, economic behavior, and it will also help us to understand what the models are, when to use the models, how to use the models, and those things. But one important thing that we also have to know is that the models that we are talking about is very subjective. It is because first, how you choose to represent your model, someone else might also choose differently. How you choose to design your model, someone will also choose to put it differently. Okay, so you said that quantity demanded of A is a function of what? P A. Okay, it's function of PA. So someone else will put this one differently, but they will communicate the same thing. Okay, so it is something subjective. The models are something subjective, not objective. And when we come to how to interpret them as well, the judgment that we economists are tied to the interpretation of the models and the variables also what differ. So take note that generally, we talk about economic models. They involve equations. They involve equations that help us to explain the theory of economic behavior. This is what we are supposed to do as economists, using the models to explain economic behavior. Okay. So we can move on to some features. Some of the features are there. We can move on to some features. Then we'll move on, look at economic model like I explained earlier on. There are two important features under the economic models that we are trying to explain. Now, when we were trying to explain the model, we are using two things. Okay, we set the price of the commodity and the quantity demanded of the commodity. There are two things. There are two variables. Now, what is a variable? Let me pause here and let someone explain what a variable is before we move to these things. What is a variable? I have the list of students. What is a variable? Yes, I have Anita. Anita, are you there? Or you just logged in and went off? Yes, Anita.
Sir.
Yes. Yes. Course rep.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Do you want to answer what is a variable? Come again.
Hello.
I can hear you, course rep.
Hello, sir.
I can't hear you.
Why is this way? I know network either.
Yes, someone
Hello,
says something.
hello, Doc. Hello, Doc.
Yes, yes,
Please,
go ahead.
it was Gilbert. Okay, so when you
Gilbert,
talk
go
about
ahead.
variables when you talk about variables in economics, they are simply the measurable factors that describe an economic activity or a unit, such as maybe
Okay,
unemployment, inflation, and so on and so forth.
okay, Gilbert, thank you. Who else want to talk?
Sir, please,
Yeah,
I'm
sir,
Isaac
please,
Ofiako.
someone want to talk.
Samuel, go ahead.
Okay, I wanted to say that a variable is an alphabet that represents quantities in terms of mathematics.
Okay,
Sir, please, I'm Isaac
Hello,
Ofiako.
Isaac, go ahead.
Sir, please, variables are the factors that can change, the economic factors that can change over time.
Okay, that's good. Yes. So all the definition given are all correct. Are all correct. So variable, it comes from the word vary, something that changes over time. Vary, something that changes in terms of magnitude or in terms of kind. So variable can change in kind or in magnitude. Do you agree with me?
Yes, Doc.
What is the kind I'm talking about? Who can give me, someone mentioned about the example of a variable, someone mentioned unemployment and inflation. These are economic variables that can change in value or in magnitude. For example, the unemployment this month will not be the same as unemployment months and 2 months to come. It will vary, it will change. Or unemployment last 2024 is not the same as unemployment rate currently. Even look at the exchange rate. Exchange rate is one of the volatile economic variable that changes even in seconds. Okay, these are the variables we are talking about. So something that changes in magnitude. But I'm also adding that something that changes in kind is also a variable. What aspect of a variable? Who can give me an example of that?
Right.
Yes. Is someone talking? Yes.
Hello.
Go ahead.
So are you looking at the kinds of variables or?
No, it's
Hello, sir.
I said
Hello, sir.
yes. Yao. Yao Manso.
Hello, sir.
Go ahead, Yao.
You also have income and demand.
Income.
They are also examples of variables.
No, okay. I mentioned two kind of I said variables are anything that changes in magnitude and in kind. So I want the example of a variable that changes in kind. For the magnitude, we mentioned unemployment and the rest. What about the kind? Okay, so it seems you are not getting that question. So when you go, please try to look at the definition of variable. Variable vary something that changes in magnitude and in kind. Someone was able to mention the magnitude. You mentioned the unemployment, inflation, exchange rate. These are all variable that changes over time. Okay. But there are also some variable that changes in kind. So please go and check for them. Okay. First rep.
Sir.
Yes. So I want to stop here. Then we'll meet on Saturday and then proceed.
All right, sir. But sir, would there be any hard copies for this course, or is just going to be soft copies?
Hard copy. Hard copy as in textbook.
Yes, sir.
Textbook, I'm not sure, but the slides will be given.
All right, sir.
Doc, please, I want to ask questions.
Go ahead.
The variable in terms of kind, can we talk about wages and prices as
No,
a
they are all
variable?
No, they are all variables that changes in magnitude.
Okay. Thank you.
Doc.
Yes.
Hello, Doc.
Yes, go ahead. Festus.
Yeah, Doc. Festus. Doc, I wanted to know the variable in kind. Are you talking about food or housing?
Food or
like payment of maybe.
Oh, Festus, I can't hear you.
I want, in terms of kind, I want to ask whether food is an example, food or payment of your house rent.
Oh, if we talk of rent today or rent changes over time, so it's not kind. So go and think about it. Go and think about it. When we meet, our discuss. When we meet, please, everybody should go and think about it. Then we'll meet. We can talk about it. All right. So have a wonderful evening.
Okay. I wanted to know about it. Will it be available today, tonight or tomorrow?
No, it's let's meet on Saturdays. I guess because I wasn't able to meet you on Saturday. I wanted to meet you today so that you know that I'm available. Then we can now formally meet on Saturdays.
Oh, okay. So you are waiting for the slides on Saturday.
Yes. So I will send the slides and then we'll start formally on Saturday. How many hours on Saturday?
4 hours.
Is it at 1?
7 to 11. Sir.
11.
Okay, so 7, we can go for break and then come back.
All right.
Yes, whatever you want us to do, then maybe if you want us to do 2 hours and then find another day and do 2 hours, that's also fine. So at Cosrec, you can come out with your schedule. If you want us to do the 4 hours on Saturday, or we can do 2 hours, 2 hours, that is also fine.
Sir, we would like to do the 4 hours on Saturday.
4 hours on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no problem.
If you can do 2 hours, then another 2 hours, that will be fine. But 4 hours sitting on your.
No, you discuss among yourself. Discuss among yourself, then agree on what you are supposed to do.
All right.
All right. So have a wonderful evening, please.